Outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center Outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Well, this is a surprise. Hello, ladies. Welcome to the WOCA studios. Please, step right up and tell us who you are.
Tammy Griffin.
Connie Ann Pendleton.
Deborah Jenkins. Cindy Brown.
Susan Schmitz.
Shauna Tanner.
Andrea Benitez.
April Savarese.
We are the Stiletto Network Group, a sub-networking group of the Ocala CEP.
Good credits, bad credits. It's none of our business because we're not an auto dealer. We're not a bank. We're not your mother. We're OcalaForSale.com. Marion County's marketplace for cars, trucks, and SUVs. We've got thousands of sellers standing by to take your call. No middleman. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. A few of our tractor services include bush hogging, disking, and rototilling. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Powell Gene, Gene, at yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Hey there, I have a question for you. Is your roof asphalt and does it look like it needs replacement? Did you get quotes and were you in sticker shock? Would you like to save not hundreds, but thousands of dollars? Did you call RoofMax? Well, call RoofMax with their patent-pending technology, which can add years to your roof without needing to replace it. And it's easy. You just pick up the phone for a free quote. Plus, they use state-of-the-art satellite technology to measure your roof. So, if your roof is over 7 years old, then you should call RoofMax today at 352-639-2777. That's 352-639-2777.
You're having another great day and you have good taste tuning into WOCA The Source with Ocala Talks and Tom Schmitz. Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad.
Welcome back to the second half of the first hour of Ocala Talks. Galen Unall from Life South joins us as he does every day. Brought to you by the good folks at Palm Garden Health Rehabilitation Center. They're located at 2700 Southwest 34th Street here in Ocala. If you have any questions about how they're handling the COVID-19 pandemic, or, you know, what's almost done as a pandemic now, if you believe the numbers, give them a call, 352-854-6262. Of course, Penn Flooring also is a proud sponsor of Galen Unall's time with us. They're family-owned and operated, serving Marion County for 30-plus years. Penn Flooring is a full-service flooring company dedicated to finding the best solutions for your flooring needs with both experience in commercial and residential flooring. Go see their amazing showroom at 1201 Southwest 17th Street here in Ocala, or give them a call at 352-351-3420. And, of course, Just Shipped, right in time for the holidays. Just Shipped has flipped the script on shipping. Before, you would have to package up all your holiday gifts. You'd have to wrap them up, box them up, make sure they were secure and not breaking as you ship them all over the country. Then you would have to go stand in line and make sure that they got their postage sent at the right time and out to where they needed to go. Well, you don't have to do that anymore. Just Ship will do all of that for you. They'll come pick your items up. They'll box them up. They'll wrap them up. They'll make sure they get to where they're going without any kind of breakage or anything. They do it for a small pickup fee plus postage. They save you time and money, and we know time is money, so Just Ship saves you money on top of money. Go to justship.net to find out more. Galen Unall from Life South joins us. Galen, I looked at the Cincinnati record, and they got a win over Notre Dame. The Tulane game, they beat Tulane by 2 touchdowns instead of 1. But theirs is not overly impressive either. They beat Miami of Ohio 49-14. Then they beat Murray State by 4 touchdowns. Then they beat Indiana by 2 touchdowns. They beat Notre Dame by 9 points. They beat Temple by 49 points. Then they beat UCF.
Big win.
Yeah,
Big
win.
win.
They beat UCF by 3 touchdowns. They beat Navy by 7 points.
That's a good win. You would agree with that one, that's a good win.
UCF over Navy?
Over UCF.
Okay. Then they beat Navy. They beat Navy by 7, and then they beat Tulane.
Big win.
Then they beat Tulane by 2 touchdowns, and then they barely squeaked by Tulsa. And by the way, Tulsa was in that game to the final whistle. So
doesn't matter. Final whistle's all that matters.
It's Cincinnati and Oklahoma have very similar records over this season. But Cincinnati's doing it in a non-Power 5. Oklahoma's doing it in a Power 5, although there are some people that would argue the Big 12 has no business being a Power 5 conference except in name only. But
you would agree that they're not a Power 5. I mean, they are, but they're at the bottom of that Power 5.
There's the SEC, the Big 10, and everybody else.
ACC.
No, well, the ACC would have been in that argument last year, but not this year.
ACC.
Not this year.
ACC.
Not this year.
Okay, you're not even allowed to have one down year, I guess.
When Wake Forest is the best team in your conference, that's a problem.
So you're not okay. So you're not allowed.
That would be like Vanderbilt being the best team in the SEC.
Wow. Wow. Okay. You're not wrong.
Just say it.
Wow. Okay.
And don't get me wrong.
I got nothing for that.
Clemson over the last 10 years, Clemson over the last 8 to 10 years, and Florida State at times over the last 8 to 10 years have made the ACC comparable to the SEC and the Big Ten. This year, that's not the case. There's 2 conferences and then everybody else. If you go on a what have you done for me lately? If you go on a what have you done for me lately?
If you check the record books, the ACC have more teams that have won a national
championship.
Title
Yeah. Than anybody except the SEC. No.
Okay. Oh, not in total number of titles. Number of teams that have won a title.
Oh, number of teams. Yes, because Florida State and Clemson have.
And Miami.
Okay.
And Georgia Tech.
1990. So Florida. So you got Alabama.
What?
Alabama. Wait, you got Alabama, Auburn, Florida, Georgia. They've all won national championships.
I know. I just pulled that out. I knew it was wrong. I was just seeing if you could count. Not the point.
The point is, the Power 5 conferences are that in name only, except for this year especially, except for the SEC and the Big Ten. Cincinnati,
you're absolutely right.
Cincinnati would compete in the ACC, no problem. Cincinnati would win the Big 12 or the Pac-12, I think, no problem.
Oh, there you go. Then they're better than Oklahoma.
I didn't say they weren't. I'm just saying there's a Power 5 conference team that's undefeated that nobody seems to think is capable.
No, you just love the SEC.
Well, it's the best conference in football. It's the best conference in football. What's not to love?
God, I hate all these SEC fans. They drive me crazy. Oh, it's the SEC. Well, my team's terrible, but we play in the toughest conference.
Let me explain something.
Get over yourself.
Let me explain something to you. Georgia would walk the dog in whatever conference they went into right now. Alabama would beat everybody in the conference, in any conference except an SEC school. They showed that. They lost Texas A&M at home, and they'll lose to Georgia. But they'd beat every other team in every other conference in the country.
Well, congratulations.
I'm just saying. When I understand you're a fan. I know you're a fan of the almost competitive conference. I get that. I get it.
No, I'm just. You know what? I'm more of a hater for all things SEC.
Yeah, well.
In Florida football. Than I am
Don't hate
else.
because the SEC
really
wins. Don't hate because the SEC wins national championships and everything. I mean, Mike Martin could walk back through the door and y'all could go, to the College World Series and get put out 8th every year again if you would like. That's something.
Didn't we win it?
Mike Martin never won it. He never won a College World Series. 26 trips and 0 wins.
Can't we just give us one? By the way, World
like a
Series
lifetime
of
achievement,
baseball
like
is
they did John Wayne for Rooster Cogburn for True Grit, a lifetime achievement
Correct.
award.
Correct. You did pretty good that time too. I mean, I don't know. They did win it in softball.
Well, that's something. That's something. That's like if a Florida fan said, "Hey, we may not be very good at football this year, but we did win a swimming national championship."
That's true. That's true. That's true. I got nothing. I don't know. I mean, but again, as a Florida State fan, our future looks brighter than a Florida fan.
100%. I'll give you that all day. Because the programs are going in the opposite directions. Florida State was a dumpster fire at the beginning of the year, and you know what they've done? They've done what football teams need to do. They've gotten better. They're not to the prominence where they're not to the prominence where they used to be, but you can see on the field the product is better now than it was at the beginning of this year and the end of last year. The product at the University of Florida is getting worse, not better.
Well, they do need to win. They do need a win, right? They do need a win. They need to beat Miami. Let's be clear. If they beat Miami and they beat Florida, it's a good year.
Yeah, but that's the case even if they only win.
Game's a trap game.
That's a good year for Florida State. See, that's what people don't understand. Florida State fans they wouldn't like going 2-9 or 2-10, but if the two wins were Florida and Miami, they could figure out how to get through the summer till the next season.
Because all the bragging rights, because all of their friends is one of the other guys.
Y'all were terrible this year. You only won 2 games. Yeah, but the 2 games were against y'all and Miami. Sorry about your damn luck. I can see that conversation.
No, the answer is, wow, how bad is your team since we destroyed you on the field?
I can see that. I can see that conversation. And I'll give you the prime example of when a Florida team had that same conversation. I remember vividly telling my Florida State friends, yeah, whatever, say what you want. Ron Zook went in and won on Bobby Bowden dedication night.
Oh, he sure did. Oh, that game hurt. I remember that's one of those you walk around for like 3 weeks with it. Like, how? No matter how bad
Florida State was good that year.
Well, and Florida State didn't play bad.
No.
It was Florida played out of their minds.
Out of their minds.
So, and then the guy gets fired.
Well, no, he was already fired.
Right,
he was like Ed Orgeron. He was like Ed Orgeron. That's why everybody was surprised that LSU played Alabama so close. I go, why? LSU had nothing to lose. Their coach is out.
Well,
they're changing at the end of the season. All they had to do was let their tongues hang out and play as hard as they could play and let the chips fall where they lie. Because if they lose, well, of course you lost. You're a terrible team. Your coach is a lame duck coach, and you were playing Alabama. But if you win, now Ed Orgeron gets to be even more legendary in Louisiana.
That's right. Well, and again, I think the players love Ron Zook.
They love Coach Zook. Coach Zook's a great guy. If you've ever spent 5 minutes with Coach Zook, you understand why anybody that's ever played for him, anybody that's ever been a friend of his, anybody he's ever talked to, like that guy when they walk away from him.
He was always good to me. So
great guy.
I don't know.
He was a great guy in an impossible situation.
Correct. That's absolutely correct.
That's
absolutely correct.
That's fact. No, people wanted Urban Meyer that whole time. They wanted somebody besides Zook. He was
obviously the guy.
Yeah, of course.
He was obviously the guy.
Yeah, he won 2006, 2008. She proved he with a Heisman Trophy in the middle of that. But a serial killer on the team as well.
Well, that's going to happen. That happens from time to time.
Yeah, I'm not thinking there's too many programs that can say they got a serial killer on the squad.
They had a killer tight end. They had a heck of a blocking both with the police and everybody else. They had two linemen that could help you get away with murder. And that helps. That makes a big difference. Your wide receiver just like to get high all the time to the point where
he had migraines. He had migraines.
Yeah.
Now I'm just making excuses, aren't I?
It's okay.
Hey, let's switch gears. We're going to stay in football, but I want to switch gears. because there's good news in River City, folks, or the Brick City Beautiful, because River City's Jacksonville. But there's good news in the Brick City. Top regional seeds, Vanguard and Trinity Catholic. They lead 5 local football teams into the Florida High School Athletic Association playoffs. The Knights and the Celtics, joined by number 2 seed Dunellen, number 4 seed North Marion, and here's the big kicker, not number 8 seed, but number 7 seed Bellevue. So Bellevue will now play Auburndale instead of replaying Vanguard this week.
And that's huge. That's huge for the Bellevue program. And I really believe that Bellevue has a chance of going down to the Orlando area and getting a win. I think they have a real chance. Then they'll come back and play Vanguard at home. Vanguard has a chance to play at home until they're in the state.
Until they're in the Final Four, right?
Right. I think they'll even host the Final Four if they win.
Oh, well.
Let's see, though. I mean, come on. It is Vanguard, and they have to get through the regional. But I think they have a pretty easy map to get to the regional.
The Celtics have a bye as the top seed in their division. They actually don't play this weekend. Everybody else will play this weekend. Vanguard will welcome in Palm Bay Heritage, who's 7-3. Bellevue travels at 8-2 to Auburndale at 8-0. Then you got the North Marion Colts. The Colts are the number 4 seed. They'll welcome in Pensacola, West Florida on Friday night. And Region 2 second seed Dunellen will host number 7 seed Orlando Bishop Moore in round 1. Look, Dunellen's on a roll here. They've won 8 football games in a row after a loss, and this Dunellen team made the Final Four last year, as did Vanguard. This Dunellen team, while we talk about Vanguard, this Dunellen team still got a pretty good shot.
Well, and the good news is they're in a different classification. They're in the same classification as North Marion, but they're in completely different districts, which. Go ahead and figure that out.
Right, and if they play throughout the playoffs and North Marion does, the only time they can meet each other is in the state semifinals.
That's correct. That's correct. So I'm kind of excited about this team. I mean, I think Vanguard, they're going to end up playing Pine Forest. Pine Forest is pretty incredible, but yeah, that Heritage game is pretty straightforward. If you look at North Marion, they're going to play West Florida, but they get that game at home. I think they're in good shape there. And then Dunellen's at home. So I think Dunellen is better than Merritt Island. I've seen film on Merritt Island. I've seen film on Dunellen, and Price Harris will get his boys ready. Always does.
Then with the bye, Trinity gets 1 week off, but then Trinity will await the winner of the Friday night game between Crescent City, number 5 seed, and the number 4 seed, PK Young. So either way, Trinity Catholic's going to play a team that actually is pretty close to the Ocala area.
Yeah, and I think they'll obviously host that PK Young team.
You think PK will beat Crescent City pretty easy?
Yes, and PK Young isn't very good. Trinity Catholic has solved their problems. Their offensive line is just massive.
They opened 0-2, and then they're on a 6. They opened 0-2. They're on a 6-0 run since then.
And they just love to run the football. That's what they're good at. They run the football behind that great offensive line, and they have a real chance of winning the state title.
And I have it on very good authority.
They really do.
I have it on very good authority. They've had that 1 week where, and this happens, if you don't know the game of football, you wouldn't know that this happens. But, Galen, you'll know what I'm about to tell you. I have it on very good authority that within the last 2 weeks, there was a day where the coaching staff for Trinity didn't like what had happened as practice closed the night before. They didn't like the effort and all closing practice the night before. Got out there on a early start for practice the next day. And about 15 to 20 minutes into practice, the entire team was thrown off the football field because if you don't want to play, get off my football field. This is the effort we're going with. We'll stop right now. Then the next day they came back out with a renewed vigor, a renewed attitude. And, you know, if you've ever played the game of football or you've been associated with the game of football, you've had that one time. It happens every season where the coaching staff gets fed up with your effort and you're told, get off the coaching staff's football field. That's just part of the game.
Yeah, and again, they just love to run the football. They're a physical football team. Their offensive line is massive. They've got a couple. They've got, 3 or 4 running backs that are just incredible. The Bo Beard Jr. played for the Steelers team, the MCYFL. He's a stud.
So let me go. Let me see if I get you on record because I think you said earlier.
I think they're going to win. I think they have a chance of winning the state title. I think they get to the Final Four, and then we'll see.
So you think they have a shot at bringing a ring home?
I do.
Are they the best shot? Are they the best shot? Are they the best shot? Or are they equal with Vanguard and, say, Dunellen for shots?
Dunellen doesn't have the shot that if I'm going to rank them, it's Trinity Catholic, it's Vanguard, and then it's kind of everybody else. North Marion and Dunellen will have to play each other
in the state semifinals. In the state semifinals.
I thought it was a regional.
Nope.
Okay, state semifinals.
Yep,
I don't think they play each other either. That would be a miracle. Wow, what a game that would be.
If they would meet each other in the playoffs, it would be in the 5A state semifinals.
I do like Dunellen's trip to get there. I think they have a pretty nice trip because I think they're better than Merritt Island, but they still have to get there. They have to get through Seabreeze, which is a good football team, or Tavares, which I'm not a big fan of. So we'll see, but I do think they get to the regional finals.
I think it looks good. I think Marion County football.
Vanguard's got to get through the regional finals, right? They've been there 4 times.
They got to.
5 times. 4 times, 5 times.
No, they went to the Final Four last year.
Vanguard did not.
Yeah, they did.
Dunellen did.
No, Vanguard made the Final Four last year as well. Yes, they did. Go back and look. Go back and look. Yes, they did. We argued about this earlier.
Dunellen beat them to go to the Final Four.
No, Dunellen beat them to go to the final game.
No, you're wrong again.
Okay.
Wrong again.
Anyway, so my point I'm making.
They lost in the Final Four.
Right, they lost in the Final Four. Vanguard did, exactly. That's what
Dunellen did.
So my point that I'm trying to make is in the last 4 or 5 years, you've had Dunellen or Vanguard both go deep into the playoffs every year. North Marion did a pretty good run 5 years ago. Trinity off and on now with John Brantley back, they look to make a poised run. Yet when you read Max Prep and when you go on to Mike Rideout's website and read about his prep, and when you read the Jacksonville Power 24 and you read in the Orlando newspaper, the Tampa newspaper, everybody talks about how the schools in Orlando and the schools down in Miami and the Jacksonville. Nobody talks about over the past 4 or 5 years, you've had to beat people from the Ocala, Marion County area to win a state title. But sometimes I don't think high school football gets its props statewide of how good it actually is in Marion County. Why is that, do you think? You've been associated with it a very long time. Why is it, do you think, Marion County sometimes doesn't get its proper due statewide?
Oh, I think they just don't believe that Ocala's got any football players.
But somebody's makes a deep run almost every year.
Exactly, but that's also reflective in the way that they're recruited. If you look at the way Ocala is recruited, it's recruited as if they're just another
bunch of 3-stars. Bunch of 3-stars.
Well, they don't even have 3 stars.
But
they're a bunch of 2. They're a bunch of guys who are just football players, right? There's very it's rare for us to get a guy like Jamarian Burt who actually gets the opportunity to go to the University of Florida, right? But you got a guy like Trent Townsend who, since John Brantley has been the best quarterback, maybe Cozy Perry's in there as well, has been the most successful quarterback. What else do you want a guy to do?
And think about all the players that are in the NFL right now. Think about the players that are in the NFL right now that are from Marion County.
Sure. Brian Maurer was disrespected until he went to the Nike or to the Trent Dilfers thing, and then he got all this publicity, and then he started getting SEC offers. Before that, he was looking at schools like West Virginia, Coastal Carolina.
I know he looked at Coastal Carolina. I know he looked at Coastal Carolina really hard because they had offered.
Well,
but they were the only ones that had offered at that time.
No, West Virginia was the first one that offered.
Oh, I thought Coastal Carolina was, but I know that they were.
But again, there's a lot of guys. You look like a guy like Betterson for Vanguard. How is he not, or Randall? How is he not a Power 5 guy? But what scouts do is they go to Trinity, they go to these other schools, but they don't really look very deep. The only reason they're looking at Trinity is because of the offensive line.
Yeah, which is massive, by the way. It is Wisconsin-esque.
But that is slowly changing. But I don't understand it at all. What are you going to do?
Well, hey, good news. We got about a minute to go. I got great news for me, anyway. I've been standing the whole hour, Galen, without swollen legs, no pain in my legs, no cane today. It's amazing once a doctor actually comes up with the right diagnosis, how easy it is to start healing some of your ailments.
WebMD is powerful.
Well, ivermectin. Ivermectin.
That's awesome.
Oh, ivermectin. I took some hydroxychloroquine, that thing. It helped too. I ran it intravenously right through my veins, right through. No, actually, through a steroid regimen that my doctors came up with, they seem to have got this under control. So I'm very happy. By the way, back to now I get to where I can start playing golf again. So time for you to realize that you're still not as good as me at that game.
Okay.
But we're both better. But we're both better than Dan Martone.
That's right. I don't play anymore.
Hey, where's the Bloodmobile today, Galen?
Hey, Bloodmobile today. We're at the 40 East Shopping Center right there at the Publix, so come by and see us there. And as always, we're on the Boulevard, 1607 East Silver Spring Boulevard. Check us out at lifesouth.org. Just please get out there, give the gift of life, donate blood.
Galen, I'll talk to you tomorrow, pal.
All right, bye, all.
We'll be right back after this timeout on WOCA, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The United States has reopened its land and air borders Monday for non-essential travel to foreign visitors from over 30 countries, provided they are fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Government officials and business leaders say they may never know the full economic impact of the traveler ban